Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be doing my persuasive speech on Puerto Rico becoming a statehood. So, show of hands, who has all visited Puerto Rico? Okay, like some of you. I've also visited Puerto Rico. Last summer, I took a trip to Puerto Rico with my mother and sister. That's where I fell in love with this beautiful country, or island, I might say. So I hope I convince you all that Puerto Rico should become the 51st state of the United States. I was convinced that Puerto Rico should be a state. The United States has every right to vote on Puerto Rico's statehood. With Puerto Rico being owned by the U.S., 4.1 million Puerto Ricans currently living in the United States, and Puerto Rico being a territory but not being able to vote in the United States elections. Okay, ownership. The United States has ownership over the U.S. Puerto Rico was seized by the U.S. under the nation's sovereignty pursuant to the Treaty of Paris ending the Spanish-American War in 1988. Persons born in Puerto Rico are born as American citizens, which I thought that was pretty cool. So, it makes sense. There's currently a whole lot of Puerto Ricans living in America. So there are 4.1 million Puerto Ricans living in the U.S. These Puerto Ricans settled to big cities such as New York, Miami, and Las Vegas. New York is home to a thing called National Puerto Rican Day, which is where they just have a parade for all the Puerto Ricans in the city. And I have some pictures of that on the next slide. This is National Puerto Rican Day. I think that's the president of Puerto Rico and his mistress. And some other pictures. And Puerto Rico es casa a las bonitas, which Puerto Rico is home to many, many beautiful ladies. And when I went there, I was in heaven. So. Yeah. And this is Obama's view on Puerto Rico becoming statehood. Before this starts, I'll just say his reasoning that if Puerto Rico or the United States is owned by Puerto Rico, then the people of Puerto Rico should be able to vote in his elections. So.
Obama, I happen to be president. It's not my fault you elected me. Did you know I care about Puerto Ricans? That's why I've done absolutely nothing for them. But they don't even get to vote against me. If Puerto Rico became a state in the United States of America, the citizens of Puerto Rico could benefit from increased and more abundant voting rights. Currently, Puerto Rican citizens cannot elect a congressional representative that has a vote in the United States House of Representatives and cannot elect a senator for representation in the... You know what it is? Oops, my teleprompter went out. I'll get back to you on that. Puerto Ricans can vote in presidential primaries, but they cannot vote in the general election and have no representation in the Electoral College. I remember, it's the Senate. By the way, Puerto Ricans are American citizens, but they are not granted the rights that U.S. citizens are entitled to, even in the District of Columbia. That makes me sad.
Tim, where did you find that?
Hope you guys enjoyed that, but I also believe that Puerto Rico should become a state with as many Puerto Ricans living in the U.S. and them not being able to vote in our elections. So I hope I could persuade you on to Puerto Rico becoming the 51st state. And that's it. And then, and then Puerto Rico. Some facts about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is home to some of the most amazing natural wonders of the world. They are home to one of 3 bioluminescent bays, which I got the chance to visit, and they're pretty cool. And they're home to a subtropical rainforest called the El Yucatan. And I have some pictures of those in the next slides. This is a picture of the El Yucatan and a little waterfall. This is a bio bay, and what a bio bay is it's a lagoon in a lake, kind of like a lake, but it's a lagoon. And at night, the water, they have microorganisms in the water where if you disturb the water, they light up and glow. So what they do, they have kayaking trips where they take you out on a kayak, and we went out about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right before it got dark, and then by the time we reached the lagoon, it was about 10 or 12, and it was pitch black, and you'd be paddling, you'd stick your hand and mess around in the water, and then the water would just glow. So I thought that was pretty cool. And these are the sources. The one that said one. Oh, no.
Do you want to?
There's like